everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Trackrats Garage. I'm Jackson, but you can call me Jackrat. And to answer your first question, yes, I am currently in my new daily driver, and it is the replacement for Project Super Scoop. So look forward to that update video here as soon as I can get it finished, hopefully in about a week. Now for Project TrackBeast, we are done with the engine bay for now, and I'm going to start moving into the interior to get ready for the roll cage as well as the fuel cell. So on today's episode, I'm going to be removing the dashboard, the entire dashboard, pretty much down to the studs, so that we can get ready for the adjustments I need to make on the firewall, as well as prepping the interior for the roll cage. And as always, guys, thank you so much for your patience with how long it's taking me to get these episodes out. Long story short, not to get too personal, but work is just being extremely crazy right now, kind of unexpected. So I am working as hard as I can to get the stuff out, but I don't always have time to actually do the work, or most importantly, get things filmed or get things edited correctly. That was interesting. I'm sure they're gonna like my loud exhaust. But thank you so much for sticking it out with me, guys. I will be pumping out these episodes as soon as I can, and hopefully work will be at least easing up for me here real soon. Alright, so unfortunately, before I could finish filming, my primary camera decided to die. So that's what I get for buying a used camera. So I'll have to finish the rest of this with my GoPro. But anyway, I have gotten the fuse box and the ECU as well as the wiring harness out of the front of this car. Now originally I was going to take it off properly because my intent was going to be to resell it. Again, as I've spoken to before, sell it for, cash to keep the project going. But what I found out by doing a little bit of internet research is a complete brand new replacement wiring harness and ECU combined went for about $75, which was not worth my time to take off the wiring harness correctly. So around the car, all I did was chop it off, all at points where I could no longer reach or get to underneath the car. So I just went straight through and chopped off what I couldn't reach and unplugged. But I have succeeded in getting the wiring harness out of the front of the car. The engine is about as taken apart as I need it to be to remove it. The next things that I need to do, I won't be able to remove the motor until I get the car in the air, which I obviously cannot do with it being on a hill like this, because I need to get the front of the car into the air, and the parking brake no longer works. So once I have the availability to get this car into the air, what we're going to do is remove this entire subframe. This subframe right here is what is keeping this engine and transmission into the car. It unbolts from the frame rails right down here. There are some large bolts. But once we do that, the entire apparatus, the engine, transmission, suspension, axles, and wheels should just pretty much drop out from underneath the car, and we will have a clean and new engine bay. So that is about as far as we're going to get for the time being on this, until I can get this car into the air and resting on axle supports on the frame rails. So that's the conclusion of that. I wish I could have gotten more of it on video, but again, my primary camera died and I did not really want to stop filming for 2 weeks, or stop working for 2 weeks because I didn't have a camera. So I kept on working and now have a backup camera right here. So quickly going over what I've done inside the car. Obviously, we've gotten most of the way through completely gutting it. When you're doing this, it's almost the same exact process in every single car that I've come across. So you start with the rear seats, normally just 2 bolts. This car, same thing. 2 bolts, one right there, one on the other side, and then you can pull the bottom of the seat in the rear up the bench. The upper seat will then be kind of clipped onto these right here, and all you have to do is, pull it towards the back here, lift it up off of these hangers, and pull it free. Once you finish with that, you'll have an access point somewhere down here to grab the carpet and start, pulling it up. I am not, nor have I ever been a fan of people who just go to town ripping apart interiors, not caring, cutting stuff. I finished this car's interior down to this point in about an hour by myself. It's not hard, and if you follow the process of taking it apart like the people who put it together, it's extremely fast. But anyway, once these seats are out, then you just continue rolling the carpet up. Now I did have to obviously cut the carpet around the seatbelt anchors, but once you get done with that, you'll have access points starting here at the bottom of the pillars for all the trim. All the interior trim that runs up around the pillars, up and around on around all the doors, and that stuff normally comes off with little plastic body clips which you can pry off, or Phillips head screws, which are obviously extremely easy to undo. And then all I did was pull the headliner out, which is just held in by adhesive. I started working on the dashboard. I took the dash cover off. It was just bolts that associate with these holes right here. Took off the speaker, or at least one of them, taking out the other one now, and I just made my way across. The wood trim, just like this, that was all the way around the dash, just came off with some little clips. The radio, popped out once everything was free. The glove box is gone. Most of this is pretty simple. Find the bolts to the part, unbolt them, and they will come off. It's pretty easy. I have not looked at any kind of manual for this whatsoever, and it's been really pretty easy. And that's what we're going to be finishing up today, is taking off the rest of the stuff. The pedal assemblies, the dashboard, and getting it down to where it's just a steering column, and that's it. And one important thing I want to mention is that when I was tearing all this out, as you can probably see around the car, around the dashboard here, and by the early short video I took where there was a lot of water up in the car, this car was sitting for 2 or 3 years before I started working on it, and it had grown a lot of mold. And that was just all throughout the carpets, all the seats, everything in here was covered in mold. So when I was doing the work, I had my thick leather gloves on, as well as a full respirator. I don't take chances with mold. I don't like mold. Now that all of that is gone, I am probably going to forego with the full respirator, and obviously still keep my gloves while I'm pulling the rest of this dashboard out, because there's not much mold left in here. But there is still some, and I don't want to be touching all that with my hands, and then, go and drink my pop or smoke a cigar or something like that, and inhale a whole bunch of mold and other toxins I don't even want to think about. But anyway, yeah, let's get started on tearing the rest of this dash out. The fuck are you still attached by? There's something down in there. The fuck is still attaching this thing? Fuck! Have I ever told you how I hate working on the interior of cars? Because I hate working on the interior of cars. I am 6'4", closing in on 250, and I have no leverage. I have nowhere to put anything. Once you strip an interior and you're down to bare metal, it is the most unfriendly and unfun place to work on a car. Here's the issue. I don't know if you can see it under here. This is the steering wheel. That's what this column normally looks like in there. I've dropped it down because of this bolt right here. That is one of the last pieces. I don't know if you can, how well you can see it, but this right here, this whole thing is the aluminum brace, the skeleton of the dashboard. And although the plastic is free to move up and down, that aluminum skeleton is keeping this dashboard from coming out. This is the last bolt I have to get at, and I have absolutely no space, especially because I need two hands to do this. My ratchet will not fit on this side. This one was pretty easy because this is where the headlight assembly was, where you turn on the lights. And so I have this convenient hole to get my hand through. I have this convenient hole where I can, you know, use my left hand through this hole to get at that side of the wrench, and then use my right hand from this side. Now this one, I have an air conditioning vent that will not move. This air conditioning vent is attached by something underneath here. So I can't get my hand through, and so I have to feed both my left and my right hand and the wrench through here while holding on to that tiny 7mm bolt. So that's what I'm fighting with right now. Thanks for watching, guys. I love any and all feedback I get, whether it's a like, comment, subscribe, just a view. If you guys did enjoy this episode, or in fact any of my other stuff, please drop a like, send a comment. I answer to every single comment that I get. Subscribe, or hell, just keep on watching. I love it all. Thanks so much, guys.